I babysit two kids, and one day I decided to read their diary. What I found made me sick. I was in my junior year of college when I realized I couldn't keep surviving on microwave ramen noodles. I needed to earn some money. So after putting my resume on Indeed, I finally got a job offer from a rich family living in the Hamptons, which was only a 30-minute drive from my college. So I accepted. When I first walked in, it was obvious the family was rich. The family lives in a massive house. The kids have everything. Tablets, a playroom bigger than my apartment, toys that still had the tags on them. I was then introduced to the two kids I'd be babysitting. Lily, an 8-year-old girl, and Mason, a 6-year-old boy. Their parents were executives at some firm that sounded fancy. When the parents handed me the schedule, they barely looked at me, just recited the pickup times and emergency contacts like it was routine, then grabbed their briefcases and left. As soon as they left, I looked at the kids and rolled my eyes. It was obvious they were spoiled, so I decided I was going to be the one to be hard on them. I thought that the more strict I was, the better. So that's exactly what I did. Every single day, I showed up with rules. No snacks outside of meals, no whining, no negotiating. And at first, it seemed like it was working. The first week, Lily came up to me with this drawing she'd made, some colorful mess of scribbles and stick figures. She held it up to me with this big smile, waiting for me to say something. I glanced at it for maybe half a second and said, "That's nice." Then I went back to scrolling on my phone. She stood there for a moment, then quietly walked away. I didn't think anything of it. A few days later, Mason tugged on my sleeve and asked, "Hello, Mr. Babysitter, can we bake cookies together?" I looked at him and responded, "That's not what I'm here for." He nodded slowly and went back to his room. I remember feeling proud of myself. These kids were finally learning boundaries. I had no idea what I was actually doing to them. Weeks passed. The kids stopped asking me for things, stopped showing me drawings, stopped tugging on my sleeve. They'd just sit in the playroom doing their homework in silence, and I'd sit on the couch answering emails or watching videos on my phone. Then one afternoon, I was putting some books back on the shelf when I noticed a journal that looked like a diary sitting on Lily's desk. It was open. I knew I shouldn't read it. I knew it was private, but something made me look anyway. Maybe I was curious. Maybe I wanted to see if she'd written anything about me. I don't know, but I picked it up, and what I read changed everything. The first entry wasn't about school or friends. It was about her parents. Lily wrote about how they were never home, how they were always busy with work stuff, how she and Mason ate dinner alone most nights. My stomach started to tighten, but I kept reading. The next entry was about me, dated a week before I met them for the first time. "Mommy says we're getting a new babysitter in a week. Me and Mason made a list of all the things we want to do with him. We want to bake cookies and play games and watch movies. Mason told me that maybe this one will actually want to play with us." I read the next entry, which was dated 2 weeks after I met them. She wrote, "I drew the babysitter a picture today. I woke up really early to make it. I used my favorite colors. I wanted him to think I was good at drawing, but when I showed him, he just said that's nice and went back on his phone. I tried really hard. Maybe I'm not good at art." My hands were shaking now. The next entry was about Mason. She wrote, "Mason asked Mr. Babysitter if we could bake cookies and he said no. That night I could hear Mason crying in his room. I had to hold him and tell him it's okay because no one else would." And that wasn't even the worst part, because on the last page there was a drawing of two stick figures drawn with a crayon. One was a little girl, Lily, with blue tears running down her face. The other was a tall figure, me, turned away, looking down at a phone in my hands. And underneath, in wobbly little kid handwriting, were 6 words that completely broke me. "Why doesn't Mr. Babysitter love me?" The kids weren't spoiled. They were lonely. The kids were sitting at the kitchen table eating in silence. "Hey," I said, "you guys want to get Baskin Robbins?" And the rest is history.